What's up, guys? Welcome to Roensch Capital Charts. Today we're taking a look at Palantir stock, ticker symbol PLTR, on a variety of time frames in anticipation of the next trading day, Friday, May 31st. Alright guys, Palantir stock here today in regular trading hours, up 79 cents per share. That's plus 3.77%. When it's all said and done here in the after hours, we're actually down about 8 cents as of right now, maybe 9 cents. Listen, take it with a grain of salt wherever that may end up. Even this little pop of volume in the after hours was very short-lived. We'll take a look at it on the volume profile, but, you know, volume right now during the fade especially has been very low compared to intraday. You guys know I like to take low volume with a grain of salt. Now, Palantir, of course, still flying high off of the new news from the Pentagon, $480 million contract awarded to Palantir. We, of course, talked about that a bit in last night's video. So listen, let's take a look at Palantir. Everything we possibly can to pull out as much directional bias as we can. We'll use the volume profile, the psychological levels. A lot of trading decisions going to be made around those here tomorrow. We'll look at the implied volatility on the stock, the expected move for tomorrow, and the directional bias coming out of the chain for tomorrow. So let's get started with just a quick directional bias volume profile analysis here on the 5-minute chart. By the way, hey, if you're new here, first of all, welcome. Palantir is a daily upload, so please subscribe to the channel. My goal here is 10,000. We're getting very, very close, so I appreciate it, and I will keep the Palantir videos coming in return. So let's take a peek under the hood and see if there's anything we can pull out here in terms of bias. Very contextual open. This is normal to see high volume off the open. Fades. Couple of pops. Kind of cancel each other out. Too much risk to apply anything there or assign any bias on those random single bar pops. Now, this as a whole, all of these bars, okay, there's an undeniable bullish bias. Honestly, on a scale of 0 to 100, I'm going to give that about a 50% on this upside move. It's very clear. Okay, now the reason I'm giving it a 50 and not a 90 is because there's always the possibility that you see a million shares of volume per bar for 15 bars in a row. Okay, so we have to be as conservative as we can possibly be to leave room for those ridiculous, ridiculous days. But that's pretty clear bullish bias there. Then we return to normal with our few little single bar outlying pops, and then quite the contextual close. These two bars are going to be rebalancing bars, and those are typically need to be ignored. Now, as we move into the after hours, this after hours move, we did see some sustained 3 consecutive green bars of out of context volume. That's also a little bit of bullish bias. I'd give that maybe about 20%. So that's what we're able to pull out from the 5-minute here today. Let's move on to the psychological self-fulfilling prophecy levels. Guys, a lot of decisions are going to be made around these levels, so we need to be aware of them. We'll start here with the 30-minute chart. This white line's the 50 period, and that gray line, the 200. Now, yesterday, you guys recall, again, if you're new, that's okay, I'll explain. We were struggling to try to claim the 50 period. We barely reclaimed it into the close, but we needed a confirmation. Today, after we ripped up through last night in after hours on the news, we tested both of these. We actually came down and tested the 50, not just the 200. We tested the 50 and bounced away on, see this? That out of context volume, where we pulled the bias from, right? Bulls, that's a really good move. Not only that, it also yanked the 50 period up and is getting a little bit of feet up underneath the move by pulling the 50 period along with it. Really great day for the bulls here. So bulls, tomorrow, any retest of the 50 period, I'm going to want to see that bounce away on high volume. Again, I don't really mind what volume we tested on as long as we bounce on above average volume bears. If you guys could get a downside move through both of these, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's going to take about at least 2.61% as it stands right now, or about 2.6%, I mean. But ultimately, bears, that's kind of the goal. Get down through both of those in a swift motion on high volume, retest the lower one on ideally much lower volume, and then reject as the volume pours back in. And you can knock both of those away, claim them as resistance in one motion, but it's going to take a 2.5%, maybe 3% downside move to pull that off. All right, now the 4-hour chart, let's take a look. Big day today, guys. Yesterday, at yesterday's close, okay, remember, you hear what I just said, right? At yesterday's close, guys, we were way down here. Okay, or at least in this general vicinity. Again, the 4-hour can get a little weird because you're dealing with 8 hours of data in a 6.5-hour trading window. We were way down here. After hours, we reclaimed the 50 period, tested off the open. Yeah, it's sloppy because, you know, the 4 hour, it's not always going to be perfect on every chart. We rip through, get hung up at the 200 period for a period of time, and hold it into the close. Now, yes, after hours. Oh, and by the way, to be clear, when I say into the close, I mean into the close of this 4 hour bar. Okay, again, we're dealing with 8 hours of data in a 6.5 hour trading window, so sometimes it can look a little bit off. Now, yes, guys, after hours, we are fading beneath the 200 period, but again, remember, it's on low volume. So we are currently below the 200, but we closed that last bar above the level. Okay, so listen here. Tomorrow, the much simpler way to present this is, here's what I'm looking for tomorrow, rather than getting hung up on exactly where we stand for today, because it's done, doesn't matter. Tomorrow, bulls, if we could just, without a doubt, claim the 200 period as support on the 4 hour chart, that would be beautiful. Whereas bears, you guys want to reject off that 200 period as hard as you possibly can. Give yourself a little bit of ceiling with a little bit of downside momentum off the rejection to potentially set up a near-term test of that 50 period here on the 4 hour chart. That would be ideal here for you guys tomorrow. Now, the most important chart of all, and where we can do the best, most simplified look, which is good when you're dealing with something like a self-fulfilling prophecy like TA is, you want what is most simple. Now, bulls, the story tomorrow, I think, is very clear. Okay? You know, first of all, we closed at 2173. We pumped up to about 2240, 2239, and we're now at about 2171. So we're about equal to where we closed. All right, but if we look back here, we got as high as 2239, which is just above the 50-day moving average. But we're back down here now. Tomorrow, if we could get at least a 2% move, maybe a little bit more, to test, if not push through that 50-day moving average, bulls, we haven't spent any substantial time above the 50-day moving average since March. Okay, and when we're doing daily analysis, that is an eternity. If we could pull that off, that's a really big win for bulls. Bears, priority number one, do not give up the 50-day moving average, and ideally reject off 22 so we don't even have to test the 50-day moving average. Bears, that's really all you're concerned with. If you could ideally get back beneath 21, that would be a big win for you guys, because really what do you want to do? You want this to get below 20. That all starts with rejecting 22 and getting back beneath 21 to set up for that test. Now, implied volatility, very important if you're trading options. Essentially flat here today. Now, compared to the last week, we're just about flat. Okay, compared to the last month, I would say we're in the lower range, okay? It's not the lowest it's been, but if you compare it to last month, we are in a little bit of the lower range on average. And compared to the last 3 months, we are still quite low. All right, now, expected move. Tomorrow's expected move, because we have weekly expiration, so we have an expiration tomorrow, so that's... Thursdays are quite luxurious for that reason. No educated guesswork here, we can just pull it straight from the market. The expected move for tomorrow's close, or by tomorrow's close compared to today's close, is plus or minus 52 cents a share. So that is the one standard deviation expected volatility being priced in here today by the market for tomorrow. But you might be thinking, all right, volatility bias. What about directional bias? 418,000 total contracts were traded today. Of those, 335,000 were calls, 84,000 were puts. We are seeing even more than normal, guys. We are seeing a very heavy bullish bias on the overall call put ratio here on Palantir today. If we go one step further, break that down by the 0 to 20 delta range, the short-term speculators, 98,000 calls, 29,000 puts. Heavy bullish bias out of the short-term speculators here on Palantir today as well. Guys, I hope to see you take advantage of the opportunity to get grandfathered in at the current rate to our private community. That price will be going up very soon as we roll out the new pricing structure. The link to do so is in the pinned comment. You can get our daily scalp setup alerts, or mine, actually, they're my daily scalp setup alerts, in-play stock alerts, human verified by me, unusual options activity, or you can become a platinum one-on-one student. Hope to see you inside, and if you appreciate the daily Palantir videos, please leave a like on the video, and then get out of here and enjoy your day. It's the best thing you can do for the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.